Hello, welcome back to the craft room here in Spain. I've been using my strips of paper to make some more mini books. If you're a regular viewer of mine, you know that I keep shoe boxes just behind me with tags and pockets and mini books in. Now I've got quite a pile of papers here. I keep this file at the side of me, and when I'm doing my cards I have lots of offcuts like this because I use an A4 piece of paper with a sentiment on to put in the card, so I end up with quite a lot of just strips like this, and they vary between, let's go in inches, 3 1/4 inches and 2 3/4, and then obviously I've got smaller strips which I use for my little concertina books. So I had quite a few of the wider strips, so I thought I'd get on and make some books ready to go in the box. Then I've always got them at hand when I need them. So here's 3 that I've made. This one is just plain. I've not put any pocket on the front, just decorated up with, I think this is a fussy cut flower from Pink Monarch, Artie Mays and Tracy Fox. And this was some wrapping paper that I bought when I was in Alicante once, and I tore it all up and stuck it onto some Amazon packing paper. These are G-Care, and these are all out of this box I keep at hand just at the front of my desk, and I've got all sorts in here. Usually my favourite digi designers, and I just keep them all in here, then I don't have to go rooting through my other basket of plastic file bags with all sorts in. Just rummage through there. Then this one I put a pocket, well, a sort of belly band on the front. As you know, I do parchment craft as well, so I end up with lots of strips left over. Can you see there? So I found this little pocket with a little tag, so I thought I'll stick that on the front of one of them, and then I put a piece of parchment, tucked it under before I glued it down, then another little mini book, and that just slots into the belly band. Just a bit of interest, bit of extra journaling space. So I have done a video on making these before, but I've had a few new subscribers, so I thought I would make one with you. Now I also get from the craft shop these strips of card. I've coffee dyed this one, but I think it's a client of theirs that cuts A1 or A2 size card, and these are the strips left on the end. So I try and use these when I can. So I'll use that for the cover. And also what I do is I have a music book, and I put it through the printer, and these are some prints from Cara Brandon, those 3. These, I'm not sure who they're from, journal cards. And then there's a freebie from Artie Mays, her August freebie, which I think is lovely. And then these are from a Ukrainian seller, I think, Sunflower journal cards. So I'm going to use the Artie Mays one today, and just to cover the front of the book. So I'm going to use the wider papers, and I'm just using, I think I use either 5 or 6, so that'll give 10 or 12. Let's just use 5 and fold them in half. Then I get a piece of this. Oh, my glue's gone flying. So I know that this paper is about 29.5 centimetres A4 size. So I'm going to cut my card about 30 centimetres. And then I'm going to score it and fold it. So that's about there where the little heart is on my scoreboard. I may just need to cut some off the width of this, because these papers are 8 and a bit centimetres and this is 10, so that's a little bit too wide. So I'll cut it down to 9. Then that will just go there, yeah? Now these papers are just a wee bit too long, so I'm just going to trim some off. I should have cut my card a little bit longer, but that's fine. And I like to round the corners. It just more pleasing to my eye. Like that. Then I'm going to... Now, somebody asked me about this little stapler, and I'm not sure if they still make them. It's from X-Cut. There, see. And it's magnetised. So if you, unless you've got a long reach stapler, which I don't, normal staplers, let me just show you. Your normal staple will only be able to reach in that far. So obviously that's not going to be far enough. So I saw this when I was on holiday in the UK once. I think it was at the Range. And excuse if it wobbles. You line up. I put this black line on so that you know to line up. If you keep this parallel, you know that your staple is going to go here somewhere. So line up your fold with my black line. Put your magnetic piece on and your stapler fits in there. And then I do a staple at the other side. It's an absolute great gadget. It's so useful. And then I just press my staples down. Okay. Yeah, that's fine. So now I know I need a piece of paper to decorate the front, about 8.5 centimetres by just under 14.5. So I'm just going to cut a piece of this. What did I say? 8.5 by 14.5. Let's just get there. Now I need to cut the ends off and make it 14.5. Now it's which piece do I like the best? Now I'll cut this blue one off. 14.5 roughly. Now I've still cut it too long slightly. And I'm going to round these corners too. And I'm just going to ink them a little bit. And I'm going to ink my card as well. They're just so handy having these in ready made. Then when I'm doing a journal and I try and do, you know, different colourways, then there's always something that matches what I'm working on. So I'll just use my fine glue for the edges. I'm trying to get all my glues used up. I've got that many. This one is a Pritt, but sometimes it warps your card if you put too much on, so you just use it quite sparingly. Then glue that on. Yeah. Get rid of them bits. I've still not replaced this dauber on my sponge, the sponge on my dauber. And then pull my little box too. Doesn't need much decoration, I don't think, on there because it's pretty enough. But there's some little box of images. That's quite nice, that little bird. And there's probably some numbers and words. It's one of Tracy Fox's, I think. If every tiny flower wanted to be a rose, spring would lose its loveliness. So that's quite nice next to the rose. So I'm just going to put those two on, I think. This is my type of crafting, just pulling bits out and no thought. Well, obviously some thought goes into it, but not too much planning. Just pull my basket out and stick things down. Should I put it that way or that way? I think I'll put it long ways actually. That's a bit white. Don't want stark white. Just going to see if there's any other words in my box here that hugs, no good. There's a ticket, that would work. I've got that many things cut out. I really need to start getting loads of them stuck on things. That would work as well. And there's a number. Right, let's go for those. I'll just ink the white off here. I feel as though I've been filming lots and lots, but as I film this, I'm going away. Probably on the day this goes out, I'll be flying. And I'm trying to get ones done for while I'm away. And then when I come back, where should we put that little ticket? See, we've got everything on this side, so I'll just go there. And then use this transparent, looks like a fern leaf. Yeah. So that's a nice little book ready to go in my stash, ready for when I need one in that colourway. And that can just slot in a pocket or on a belly band. I love making these. And I hope you've enjoyed that. And I shall see you next time. Bye.